Say that he joins me now in the studio. Nick, very good to talk to you. We had two cases yesterday. We had Kevin Spacey, of course, who was found not guilty after having charges hanging over his head for a very long time, and then Andy Markinson, whose conviction was overturned. Tell us briefly how you found yourself in a position that you were in prison, serving a sentence, your life at threat, for something you didn't do.
Yes, unfortunately, at the age of 20, I was falsely accused of the rape and murder of a woman I never met. So I can understand right now the feeling Andrew's going through, especially at what feels like the end of the journey. But it still goes on, and it'll never leave my life, actually. So I've tried to do this mitigating thing of trading upon the efforts of helping people not harm themselves or do suicidal thoughts. And using my own example, they can really identify what it must take to hold on. So it's a great opportunity, really, going forward.
But how did you do that? I mean, you knew you were innocent. Presumably those around you in the prison service assume that everybody who says they're innocent is guilty. How did you keep yourself sane?
I wasn't allowed to protest my innocence like most people because I was on death row surrounded by killers. If they thought I was weak, they would have preyed upon me even worse. So I wasn't one of those men who was allowed to go around and say, hey, I'm innocent, because I was dealing with the trauma of having to be in the worst level. They made me fight other men for the amusement of the guards. They tortured me openly. I spent all 22 years in solitary confinement. The only thing that really gave me empowerment over my torturers is compassion. I felt sorry for them for hurting me, and it allowed me to grow as a human being.
And it allowed you to stay sane?
It is.
The point that you find out you're freed, and it was DNA evidence that proved that you were not the person that committed that crime. Was there relief at that point, or was that just another day on the journey?
The day that the DNA evidence came back to prove me innocent in 2003 was the start of a long process for me to get free. It took another 8 months. They were afraid of me. They made me out to be a monster because I escaped from death row in 1985 and scared everyone. They thought I was ultra-violent. They couldn't believe that after they had tortured me so long, I couldn't be kind to them, that I couldn't let go of my anger. They were terrified of me. And I imagine a lot of people are going to be afraid of Andrew. They're going to wonder if he's harboring anger because they themselves can't imagine, I can't go through this and not be angry. I would be so angry. But they don't get it.
How do you not be angry about this for the rest of your life?
Look at the
massive injustice.
The precious gift that I've been given is that I've been allowed to help people not kill themselves. What a wonderful treat that I can connect with other people and get them not to harm themselves, get off of drugs, stop being so negative. And I get through to people. So everything that was done to me became this enormous gift in my life. Right now, I'm helping my friend Alex Rotoli deal with a form of cancer that no one has ever survived. I'm helping my friend Stephen Hanley in Reading rebuild his business of landscaping. I'm doing whatever I can every day of my life to try and help someone else.
But how different do you think your life would have been? You know, you've taken something really positive from this horrific experience, which is so admirable. But you must look back and think, this is what my life might have been on a different path. Is there resentment about that?
No, because all my childhood friends and both of my brothers are dead. I grew up in Philadelphia, one of the hardest cities in America, and all my friends are dead. They died of drug overdose or violence, and God saved my life by sending me to death row. I really believe that.
Were you religious before?
No, I had to go through an enormous journey where I read all of the world's religions, and as a reward, God made me the first man in the United States to seek DNA testing.
And of course, it had this amazing result for you. Andy Markinson has received an apology from the police force that appears to have mishandled his case. You never got an apology. Is that important to you?
No, because if you start looking for those types of things for validation, you'll stay there. And I keep thinking about the poor victim in this matter. No one's mentioned them. And I do hope that the police turn around and give the victim and their family resolution. When I got out, I had to get a bullhorn and go fight for the victim in my case because they weren't trying to solve the murder.